Oh, and by the way, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Here, check it out. It's free, and there are tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You see, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So you can be heard on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and a lot of other streaming services. And you also can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, all in one convenient place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Scoresy Scores. I'm your host, Aaron Scoresy, and today we're talking about a show on Disney Plus again, Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Star Wars. I'm not. Sue me. Whatever. But this show caught my attention. As soon as I saw the Clone Wars, I immediately thought about this show that came on Cartoon Network, Star Wars Clone Wars. So I know what I'm talking about. The same director who did Director's Laboratory, who did Samurai Jack did it. And you know he's a fucking beast. And you guys know what I'm talking about. That show was, in my opinion, better than any Star Wars film that ever came out because it was just amazing. The action was dope. The lines were cool. The characters were cool. It was just a really cool show, especially for the time period, especially for like Cartoon Network. That's not to say anything. Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network had a lot of great shows, but that was a fantastic show. Anyway, I saw the clones. I was drawn to this show, and I checked out the first episode, and I was not disappointed. The Bad Batch is pretty cool. Like, it's about these 5 genetically defective clones, and they're trying to figure out what they fit in post-Clone War era. And we meet these 5 and we see their personalities and their cool, super unique gifts and whatnot. And it's just pretty interesting to see them just be who they are and have these ideas outside of them being soldiers. And that was very interesting to see. I really, really like all these characters so far. So I'm gonna continue watching it. So far, so good. I'm really involved in it. I'm into it. Like it's pretty cool. The action is there, and it's like I would think things are going one way, then they turn and go a different way. It keeps me on my toes. I really appreciate that. Like anybody knows, if you don't know, I'll tell you now. I like twists and turns. I like being surprised. I feel like I watch a lot of shows, and I feel like I can predict what's gonna happen. For the most part, I mean, sometimes I'm completely fucking wrong. But sometimes I hit it, and I'm like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I sound such a snob. but this show kind of kept me on my toes for the most part. I was interested. I was just not seeing where things were going. And then it picked up, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, again, it's a Star Wars show, so you're not expecting a lot of blood and gore and a lot of profanity and all these things. But it gave me enough action to keep me hooked, enough story to make me invested in it. So 2 thumbs up for that. I love all the characters. I believe the name was Hunter, Crosshair, Tech, Wrecker, and I forget the other guy's name, like Briggs or something. But they are pretty cool. I like them a lot. I think the voice work is really phenomenal. I like they all got these really distinct, cool voices. I do really, one thing it's such a it's kind of a nitpicky thing, but at the same time it's kind of not. I feel like there's a huge lack of female main characters in this story. I feel like all of the main characters are male, and there's the one little girl who's the only female, and it's a little girl. And there are other female characters or female aliens in there, but the primary protagonists are all dudes, and it just kind of, I guess it kind of makes sense to an extent because all the clones were males, so I guess that makes sense. But I'm just hoping to see more of a diverse cast in the upcoming episodes. But that's just one thing I've noticed. Like, they only have one female protagonist, and just like, this is bad taste. I just want to see more than just the guys, because I've seen there. I don't know. It's not as interesting. I feel like stories can develop still with more diverse casts. I feel like stories develop better just with different perspectives and different people, and being more diverse in general. So hopefully it's more diverse in the coming episodes. The Bad Batch was cool. I liked it a lot. I liked where it went. I liked the Disney graphics were not my favorite, because I don't like just that form of 3D animation, how the look on the surface is, but it was cool enough. I overlooked it enough because of the action, the story, and the characters. It all worked pretty well together, so I didn't really care as much how it looked, although it is not. I don't like that look, just to say. And I'm really hoping to see a couple more Jedi. Actually, I'm hoping to see some cameos from some other Jedi or other people in the main story. Even if I don't, I just want to see some familiar worlds. I want to see familiar places, but at the same time, I'm really interested in what new stuff they're gonna show and what new places they're gonna go, and what things that we don't actually see or haven't seen before, rather. But I am interested in seeing what new places they're gonna show, or new places they're gonna go, because Star Wars is a vast universe. Like, there is so many places you can go, and so many new species they can just throw in there, because who's to say they showed all of them in the movies or even in all of the spinoffs. So I'm just interested in seeing where they're going to go next with all this stuff. But so far so good. Bad Batch I'm liking. Characters are cool. The action's there. I'm definitely intrigued. So not a lot of bad stuff to say about it, besides the lack of diversity in the cast so far. I mean, it's on episode 1, but that just stands out to me. But other than that, 2 thumbs up so far for the Bad Batch episode 1. Scores the Bad Batch episode 1. An 8.5 out of 10. Sounds good to me. All right, y'all. That covers it for today's episode of Scores. You can check my podcast out on whatever you listen to your podcast at, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever you find wherever you find your podcast at, I'm there. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. You can also check me out on YouTube and follow me on Instagram at Aaron Scorzy, and on Twitter at Scorzy_films. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.